So I'm using more digits here. I'm showing more. I know I really just have 4, but for my answer up here I'll write 25.14 with 4 sig figs, since that's what it really has. Okay, so I've got my volume of water, and again this is from the density of water. Okay, so next step. Oh, I was going to show you why we don't use this, or tell you about it. The reason that we don't use that equation is that as we go on in the class, this density step will just be the first step. In other words, we'll have more to go from there, and so it'll make it convenient to just kind of write it all at once. The other reason is that, believe it or not, when people use this equation to solve for V, quite a few people will get the algebra mixed up and get the wrong answer. It's not uncommon at all. So anyway, that's why I set it up, making the grams cancel and make sure that I haven't messed things up. Okay, so the volume of the flask is equal to the volume of water. After all, the water was filling up that flask, so it's the same number. Okay, now that we know how big our flask is, you're going to put your dump out your water, dry it out. You're going to put your unknown liquid in there, and you're going to fill it up full, just like you did when you did the water. You're going to fill this flask all the way up to the top with your unknown liquid. Okay, and after you do, you're going to weigh it. And so this is the flask with the stopper and the unknown liquid. And again, this is one that you measure on the balance. And let's just say it's 85.01 grams. So what's the mass of the unknown liquid? I'm going to take the mass of the whole thing, and then I'm going to subtract out the mass of the flask. So this is flask plus liquid, and this is just the flask. Again, looking at my sig figs, really my sig figs end right there. I've got the larger number, or I've got the extra digits here, but when I put my answer here, I'm going to round that to 4 sig figs like it's supposed to have. Okay, so that's my mass of my own unknown liquid. What's my volume of my unknown liquid? It's going to be equal to the volume of the flask. And before I saw that I had some extra digits on it. But here I'm going to write the correct number. Okay, so what's the density of the unknown liquid? We're just going to use this equation, mass over volume. So I just need to make sure I get the mass of the liquid only. And the volume of the unknown liquid. On both of these, I have used those extra digits that I kept track of. And anyway, so I get my answer. The calculator says 1.5071. So my answer is 1.507, and the units for that are grams per milliliter. Okay, well on this one I did a lot of steps where I kept track of some extra digits, even though over here my answers I rounded. And I'm really not that picky about this. I wanted to kind of show you how to do that. What happens is if you round after each step, this number can get a little off. I think on this problem it would have actually come out just the same at the very end. But sometimes this digit on the right can vary a little bit. Like I said, I'm not super picky about that. I don't always keep all of these digits, but I just wanted to show you how that's done. If you do that on sapling, your numbers will match up better. So in general, as I'm working problems and you're working problems, typically this answer on the right or this digit on the right can be off, and we're not going to worry about that because that's just rounding differences.